Hey everyone, and welcome to Boston Autoblog. The pickup truck segment is pretty much very straightforward. We know exactly who buys them and why. It comes down to the practicality, usability, utility, offered worthiness, and ruggedness. And generally speaking, people who buy pickup trucks are very traditional to this particular segment. They've been purchasing them for 10, 15, possibly even 30 years. And really, these vehicles haven't changed much over time. However, in 2021, things have certainly changed. Whether it's the technology on the inside of these vehicles or even the demographic of consumers who are now being drawn in by what the F-150 or Ram pickup trucks or maybe even the Chevrolet Silverado are starting to offer. Now, when it comes to the technology, it's not limited to the user interface or the digital display in the center of the analog gauges, but it now includes what's found under the hood, as this F-150 is a hybrid, completely changing how we look at this segment. Usually pickup trucks are gas guzzlers powered by V8s, and they're not the most efficient on the market. However, this F-150 is definitely going to change the game. Ford claims you can go 700 miles on a full tank with the F-150 hybrid, which I think is really impressive. Especially if you are going to be using this pickup truck for longer road trips. Maybe you're going to the mountains this time of year to ski and snowboard, or you're going to be doing longer road trips with the family. But either way, the F-150 is making a great case for itself to be the next vehicle in your driveway. So in this video, we're going to get a good long look at the F-150, see how it compares to its closest rivals, and see why, if you're looking for an efficient pickup truck that also has great practicality, usability, and utility, then maybe going with the Ford F-150 hybrid might be a great decision. Now, before I get in this video, I'd like to thank Acton Ford in Acton, Massachusetts, for allowing me to do this review. Their link will be in the description below, so you can check out their extensive Ford inventory. And so, without wasting any further time, let's get right in this review. You always hear that it's lonely at the top, but for 40 years and counting, the Ford F-150 has been the best-selling vehicle in the US, and in fact, even with 2020 being one of the most adverse years in modern history, Ford still managed to sell over 750,000 F-Series pickup trucks. Unlike most segments where consumer tastes greatly affect popularity in certain cars and crossovers, the pickup market is very straightforward and traditional, with Ford, Chevrolet, and Ram all vying for the top spot. Back in 2019, Ram drew a lot of attention after surpassing the Chevrolet Silverado for second place, as they've single-handedly reshaped this segment. However, for 2021, Ford made some major changes to the F-150 that will redefine how we look at pickup trucks for the foreseeable future. Starting off with pricing, the 2021 Ford F-150 XLT SuperCrew comes in at $43,805. However, since this is a hybrid, the optional 3.5-liter PowerBoost V6 will be an additional $4,495, and this also includes the trailer tow package. While you can't tell from the exterior, Ford redesigned 92% of the F-150 for 2021, including some minor touches to the overall design for better aerodynamics. Dimensions go unchanged compared to last generation, and for ground clearance, you're looking at right around 9 inches, making this pickup perfect for all road conditions or environments you may encounter. Taking a glance at the road presence, as mentioned earlier, you'd have to get up close to see some of the minor cosmetic differences compared to last generation, besides the obvious upgrades to the LED headlights and fog lights, which really gives this F-150 a more modern look than in recent years. However, with the chrome appearance package, our F-150 retains its traditional style. And despite having the option to go with a lower profile look with the sports appearance package, many buyers will likely stick to the chrome accents that have become an integral part to the front fascia of this pickup throughout the years. Tucked under the front bumper, you will have 2 tow hook mounts for when you go off-road or if you need it for your car that's stuck in snow. Moving over to the side profile, our model is sitting on the optional 20-inch chrome-like PVD wheels, which match perfectly with the chrome exterior package. And during the test drive, there wasn't much of a difference in terms of ride comfort compared to the smaller wheels Ford offers. Easing pickup truck buyers into a hybrid model, a PowerBoost badge still makes this pickup look rugged and tough. You'll have folding side mirrors with turn signal indicators, and spotlights for those times in dimly lit areas. And for additional safety, you will have blind spot detection. Then coming around to the back, this XLT has a power folding tailgate for added convenience when you have heavy items you want to lift into the bed of this truck. And even better, you will have a retractable step to make tasks simpler. You'll also have a workbench with measurements, but a great feature for commercial or personal use is the generator found on the left, which houses 4 3-pronged outlets to power any electric devices or tools you may have. For maximum payload capacity, the 3.5-liter PowerBoost V6 is rated at just over 2,000 pounds, which is slightly better than the full gas-powered 3.3 V6. Then for towing capacity, this is really where the hybrid impresses, as Ford claims you can tow up to 12,700 pounds, which is only a 300-pound difference compared to the 5-liter V8. For performance, the 3.5-liter PowerBoost V6 engine puts out 430 horsepower and 570 pound-feet of torque, and is paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission. Believe it or not, this pickup rockets to 60 miles per hour in 5.3 seconds, which is only 1/10 of a second slower than the Raptor. The amount of power you feel on the low end will certainly put a smile on your face, but what I noticed during the test drive is that there will be a little bit of lag on the higher end. The efficiency and linear nature of the acceleration is something I haven't experienced with vehicles of this size, and I'm not afraid to say I was left speechless a few times. For fuel economy, you can expect to receive right around 24 miles per gallon in the city and 24 miles per gallon on the highway, with Ford claiming a fuel range of 700 miles, which will most certainly entice a lot of buyers. Now, stepping inside the F-150, there's a few buttons that I want to focus on the left side of the dashboard before we focus on the rest of the interior. So up top, you will have your on and off buttons for your side mirror lights. Of course, you're going to use those if you're in dimly lit areas. You also have your button that will lower the power tailgate. But the reason why I am focusing on this button layout over here is because you have a button and switch that will move your pedals. So you can move them forwards or backwards depending on your height. And I just think that's really awesome to see because there's a lot of different people buying pickup trucks now. They're all different demographics and people that are looking for a lifestyle, or maybe they're buying it for commercial use. But we all come in different shapes and sizes, and I love that because even though I am height challenged, I can sit behind the wheel of this F-150 and be really comfortable. And then of course you will have an adjustable steering column, but the fact that we actually have adjustable pedals really makes the F-150 a vehicle for everybody, and that's exactly what we're going to see for the rest of the interior for this pickup truck. Continuing on with the rest of the interior, you're greeted by heated, power adjustable cloth seats for both the driver and passenger as part of the 302A package. While it comes down to personal preference and lifestyle, the cloth seats provide plenty of comfort and decent bolstering. And despite being someone who leans more towards luxury, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend the cloth seats over leather if it's not a top priority. The 302A package also includes the 8-inch digital display in the center of the analog gauges, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, dual-zone climate control, and more importantly, the massive 12-inch touchscreen with Ford's Sync 4 system. While this new user interface isn't very different from the Sync 3, resolution and quality have been improved to make your experience behind the wheel more pleasant. Of course, you will have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility to go along with a voice-activated navigation system. For drivers unsure about purchasing a vehicle the size of the F-150, the new camera systems gives you a 360-degree view to make parking and maneuvering this pickup much easier. By having these angles to work with, the F-150 no longer seems that big, and as I'll discuss on the test drive, really gives this pickup a full-size SUV feel when driving around town or finding a spot in a parking lot. Now, since this is my first time taking a look at the Sync 4 system, I wanted to give my personal opinion on it because, as you guys know, I'm not the biggest fan of the Sync 3. It's easy to use, very simplistic, but I don't think it's the best in its price range or segment, so do I feel the same about the Sync 4? Now, I do want to point this out, specifically in the pickup truck segment, but this is the way we're seeing everything go in the automotive industry, that what defines luxury or quality in 2021 isn't necessarily leather seats or soft touch padding or leather stitched dashboards. It's actually the size of the infotainment system and also the user friendliness, but also the resolution and responsiveness. And I have to say, the Sync 4 isn't radically different from the Sync 3, but this massive screen really enhances the experience that you have behind the wheel of this pickup truck. It makes this pickup truck feel like a true 2021 model, and also really gives the interior a futuristic look. But ever since we've seen Ram products really make pickup trucks more of a lifestyle rather than just usability and utility, brands like Ford have had to rethink their strategy for the interiors of their pickup trucks, because you now have to account for a demographic of consumer who would have never purchased an F-150 20 years ago. And I think that's why we're seeing a lot of technology and comfort features really make their way into these pickup trucks. And for Ford, they're the #1 selling brand in this segment, but they're noticing that Ram is really starting to make a lot of noise in this market, overtaking Chevrolet for the second spot. And I think Chevrolet is really way behind the times in this market. So it's great to see that Ford is now starting to step up their game and give us technology that now rivals what Ram is offering. But for the infotainment system itself, though, I actually think Ford made some significant improvements, especially when it comes to the resolution, but also the responsiveness. What I like, too, is that with this massive screen, we can take a look at our radio and also navigation at the same time. And I like having that dual functionality. But also, I think what people like as well, when it comes to the volume and tuning knobs, we actually have physical buttons. So a lot of people, specifically in this segment, aren't too ecstatic about going with a full touchscreen and not having physical buttons. So it's good to see that Ford is still staying true to a traditional layout. But also when it comes to the resolution for your camera systems, this is pretty top-notch stuff, and I think it's definitely on par with its closest rivals. So overall, when it comes to the infotainment system, even though it's not radically different, it's not too crazy from the Sync 3, I think the changes that they did make were necessary. And I would say that for a vehicle in this price range, it's definitely on par with its closest rivals, and most certainly now better than Chevrolet's user interface. As we work our way down towards the center console, below the touchscreen, you'll find the buttons for the dual zone climate control, 3-level heated seats, and front and rear defrosters. For the center console itself, you'll have a cubby for a smartphone and smaller items, to go along with the USB and USB-C input. Sadly, we don't have the retractable gear shift lever, but as a result, we have an additional storage compartment next to the 2 cup holders. A nice minor feature in the new 2021 F-150 is that you now have a retractable mini table in between the front seats, where you can set up a laptop and get work done inside your pickup, which many Ford loyalists demanded for this new generation. And rounding out the front seating area, for the center storage compartment, you'll find more than enough room for small items or tools, and you'll have a tray for loose change or a smartphone. Now for passengers in the back, we're going to start off on the driver's side, and I adjusted this seat to someone of my height, around 5'5", and I have an unbelievable amount of legroom to work with here. Legroom is not going to be an issue with the F-150 unless your driver is 6 foot tall and above and you're 6 foot tall and above. I think if you're using this vehicle for commercial use and you have your fellow co-workers in the back, they might want to take off their hard hats if they are tall people, because they will hit the headliner. But overall, the F-150 has plenty of room when it comes to legroom and also shoulder room, which we're going to find out right now. Now, when it comes to the center seat, usually I always say that you can't really fit a third person in the center, and usually I'm reviewing crossovers and smaller sedans. But with the F-150, you have plenty of legroom to work with here. There's no aggressive center hump, And I most certainly think you could fit average sized adults back here, 3 of them, and they'd all be comfortable for sure. There's a lot of shoulder room to work with here, and even if you fit like 3 kids back here, they're all going to be very comfortable. And then on the passenger side, I adjusted the seat further back. It's also somewhat on a recline, and I still have plenty of legroom to work with here. So I have to say, with the F-150, whether you're using it for commercial use or with your family, I think everyone is going to be very comfortable in the second row seats and also the front seats as well. This is a very spacious vehicle, and most certainly you can use this on a daily basis if you have 2 and possibly 3 passengers in the back. Also back here, you will get 2 cup holders, a 12-volt outlet, a USB and USB-C input, and also a 3-pronged outlet, which I think is great to have. Of course, if you are using power tools, you can charge that up. Or if you are going to be taking the F-150 on a road trip with the family, the kids can plug in their laptops or their smartphones and, of course, their iPads. So I definitely like that usability and that utility. Now, unfortunately, I know a lot of you are going to be disappointed. We do not have a center armrest with 2 cup holders, but overall back here, I like what the F-150 has to offer. So let's see how the hybrid performs in the acceleration. This thing takes off. Wow. You feel the torque. It's very torquey, and you can get up to speed very quickly. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, it's not a V8, but you wanna know something though, the hybrid engine, the hybrid technology works very well with this 3.5. Very impressive. But I think really, the overall theme here with this pickup truck is that everything is smooth. I'm not being thrown around. When we accelerate, it feels very linear. This is actually very well refined in many aspects, not just when it comes to the interior, but also in how it drives. It feels really nice. Now, getting to the visibility of the F-150, there's plenty of it. The A-pillars are not very aggressive at all. Seating position, you sit very high up, and also the hood. Despite the fact this is a pickup truck, it actually slants a bit, so you can see quite a lot in front of you. So it definitely gives me a lot of confidence when I'm maneuvering this pickup truck around. Cornering is actually really impressive, along with everything else. Now, I am not the biggest pickup truck enthusiast at all. It's not a vehicle of my choice, not a vehicle I usually test drive and review. But compared to the Chevrolet Silverado, this is a stark difference. It's so much more relaxed. It's very easy to adapt to as well, because I know some people might be getting into a pickup truck for the very first time, and this does not feel any different than most full-size crossovers. This is actually very easy to get used to within 5 minutes. There's no learning curve whatsoever. But also, just the way it drives. It just drives like a crossover. It drives like an SUV. And that is not something I was expecting at all. Now, I've talked to a few people who've actually driven the new F-150, and they keep saying that it's just a very soothing and smooth driving experience, and that's exactly what it is. It's not like a Chevrolet Silverado. It doesn't feel very rugged. Now, I don't know if it's just because it does not have a V8 under the hood, but the V6 is just really quiet and actually very responsive as well. There's very little lag on the low end. But I am really enjoying the driving experience here. To be honest, I could drive the F-150 all day and not get tired of it. And I understand where Ford is coming from now. It might feel a little different compared to F-150s in the past, just because it's a little more laid back. But I think, for me, when I look at the pickup truck segments, I look at Ram as being really the brand that's setting the bar, because they're making owning a pickup truck a lifestyle. It's not just the stereotypical buyers who are purchasing an F-150 in 2021. We're talking about people who now have families that are going on longer trips, longer journeys. They're maybe using this vehicle for a wide range of reasons. It's not just for commercial use. I think in the past, a lot of people look at the F-150 and say, oh, these are the people that, you know, that are living out further away from the cities. There's a different lifestyle to it. But Ram made it a luxury vehicle. And even though the XLT is not luxury, these are cloth seats, it's not as fully spec'd out as you're gonna find in higher trims, this is actually perfect. It really is. I don't see myself wanting anything more from this F-150. And I think that's what's really important, especially if you're not looking at spending $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 for a pickup truck. This actually works really well. Acceleration is so impressive. I'm like really blown away by this, because this isn't a Ford Raptor, and yet it's so enjoyable to drive. Steering input isn't that bad. I don't feel a lot of body roll. Now, of course, I'm not going super fast, but again, it's really impressive. I think that's gonna be the word of the day for the F-150. It's impressive overall, whether it's the technology aspect that you find on the interior or just how it drives and handles. It's smooth. It feels refined. This is not what I was expecting at all. And I think that even if this is your first time looking at buying a Ford F-150, don't be hesitant. Don't be, concerned or intimidated. I think you could walk right in first time and feel right at home. And I think that's what's really important for Ford moving forward, especially now that we're seeing the pickup truck market really evolve now. It's becoming an alternative to a crossover. It's becoming an alternative to a full-size SUV, and it doesn't feel any different. It feels very much like every other vehicle I've reviewed in the past of this size. Unbelievable. The amount of torque that you have, it's instant. You can get around slower drivers with ease. Most pickup trucks, you just sit there and wait. You're like, so when am I gonna get the power? When am I gonna be moving? Not with the F-150. This thing takes off. Now, of course, on the higher end, you definitely feel the lag, but on low end, absolutely not. Well, it's funny, like I have a Kia Niro to the right of me. That's a hybrid. This is a hybrid. And I'd rather be in this. This is more fun to drive. This is not a stereotypical hybrid. I love it. I love this pickup truck. And I'm not a pickup truck fan. I'm not. I don't drive pickup trucks. It's not who I am. And yet, I could see myself driving this on a daily basis for sure. As I head back towards the dealership, I have to say though, this is a really impressive pickup truck. And I think that if you're not the type of person that has to have a V8 engine, then I think going with a hybrid is a lot better, because performance-wise, you have a lot of torque on the low end and you can take right off, which for a non-performance pickup truck is pretty impressive. And also, what I like too is that it's efficient. So you have the performance, you have the efficiency, and you also have the fuel range. I don't know what else you could ask for at that point. But when it comes to interior quality, I don't mind the hard touch plastics or even the fact this does not have leather seats. Personally, I don't understand the draw of spending $80,000 on a pickup truck, having leather seats, having everything included, because I'm still of the mindset that the F-150 is a pickup truck for traditional pickup truck buyers. These are for people who have purchased the F-150 over the last 15 to 20 years, but we're just starting to get some extra technology features that would match up against the Ram products and Chevrolet Silverado. But I personally think that if you are looking for a luxury experience, then you are gonna go Ram, whereas the F-150 is purpose-built. And it's for people who are going to be using this vehicle for commercial use, but possibly if you are going on longer road trips with the family, you had that practicality and the size as well to bring more than two people in the back with you. You can have that third person. But for me, I think that the F-150 still is tops in this segment, just because to me, it just fits the lifestyles of people who do buy an F-150. I think Ram is trying to draw in people who are looking for a luxury experience and a lifestyle in that regard, whereas the F-150 is not for people who are looking for the flashiest vehicle in this segment. They're looking for something that just provides everything they're looking for, whether it's payload or towing capacity, or even just when it comes to performance. You're getting quite a lot of that with the hybrid, but now you have better efficiency as well. So I actually like the F-150 from an overall standpoint. As someone who doesn't even like pickup trucks, I like the fact that it's smooth, it's relaxing, and also it's a little more laid back. It's a vehicle that I can get used to very quickly. And even though I'm not a person that likes driving bigger vehicles, I could definitely drive this on a daily basis without getting tired of it. And also, it's very maneuverable. We also have the camera systems as well. So for me, I'm actually really impressed with what Ford has done here. And I think that if you are looking at buying a mid-size pickup truck, definitely take a look at the F-150. And if you are not the type of person that needs to have a V8 under the hood to buy a pickup truck and get that pickup truck experience, then I think the hybrid is definitely the way to go. So at the end of the day, after taking a good long look at the Ford F-150, I'm really impressed with what this vehicle has to offer. They give us technology features that are now on par with its closest rivals. Personally, I think it's better than the Chevrolet Silverado, but also minor touches like a table that now you can set up your laptop and do work inside the F-150. I think it's a small touch that will go a long way. But also, I think the hybrid technology under the hood is also a great way to give people efficiency, while also having a vehicle that is off-road worthy and versatile and also rugged. But as we're seeing across the board in this segment, pickup trucks are evolving, and Ford had to make changes to draw in a new demographic of consumer, and all the minor touches that we've seen throughout this video is definitely going to help draw in those new buyers. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Boston Autoblog so you can see what I'm up to and what vehicles will be featured on the channel in the future. And I will see you guys next time.